Let's be honest. Does the thought of English grammar make your head spin? Well, you are definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to crack the code on English tenses using a new and I think surprisingly fun approach. So get ready to see grammar in a completely new light.
This really hits home, doesn't it? For so many of us, learning tenses feels just like this. Like trying to memorize a giant phone book full of rules that don't seem to connect to how people actually talk. But what if the grammar itself isn't the problem? What if it's the way we're trying to learn it?
This chart, it probably looks pretty familiar, right? For a lot of people, this is grammar class, just a bunch of formulas that feel way more like math than they do language. It's abstract, it's kind of dull, and it's almost impossible to use when you're trying to have a real conversation. It's really no wonder so many of us struggle. What if we could just toss out these complicated charts and replace them with something way more intuitive, something more creative? Well, the good news is we absolutely can. Let's dive into a much better way to learn. So what's the secret? Well, it's something called mnemonic devices. Now, that might sound super technical, but trust me, it's actually one of the most natural ways to learn anything. It's all about creating these little mental shortcuts that make complex info actually stick. Think of mnemonic devices as like mental hooks for your brain. Instead of trying to remember some dry, boring fact, you hang it on a memorable story or an image or even a personality. And that makes it so much easier to pull that information back when you actually need it. In this explainer, we're going to focus on two incredibly powerful mnemonic techniques. First, we're going to turn these grammar rules into actual characters with their own personalities. Then we'll turn the whole concept of time into a simple visual map. Okay, let's start by giving grammar a face. When you personify something, you make it relatable, you make it distinct. So instead of a boring rule, let's imagine each tense as a person. What would they be like? What's their deal?
All right, first up, I want you to meet Mr. Board. He is the living, breathing embodiment of the present simple tense.
Mr. Board's life is, well, it's predictable. He does the exact same things every single day. It's like Groundhog Day for him. His whole world is made up of habits, unchangeable facts, and daily routines. So whenever you're talking about something that happens regularly or something that's always true, you're speaking Mr. Board's language.
You can almost hear his monotone voice, can't you? I always wake up at 7. I wear a blue shirt to work every day. Simple, predictable, and, yeah, a little boring. That's Mr. Board, and that is the present simple tense.
All right, let's move on to someone a little more exciting. Meet Miss Show-Off. She is the perfect representative for the present perfect tense. Miss Show-Off is all about her life experiences. She just loves telling you about all the amazing things she's done. But here's the key. She won't give you a specific date. For her, the focus is on how those past experiences have made her who she is today. Just listen to her talk. I have visited over 60 countries. See? She's not saying when she did it. The experience itself is the important part. It's a past action that has relevance right now. So the next time you want to share a cool life experience, just channel your inner Miss Show-Off. And finally, to round out our little cast of characters, let's meet Miss Checklist. She's the personality for the past simple tense. Now, Miss Checklist is the total opposite of Miss Show-Off. She is obsessed with actions that are completely finished, done, checked off her list. And she is very precise about exactly when they happened. For her, the time is just as important as the action itself. Her sentences are so clear and final. Yesterday, I finished my essay. The action is over. Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin in 1928, a specific point in the past. If an action is done and you can put a timestamp on it, you're talking like Miss Checklist. Okay, so we've met the personalities. Now let's move on to our second technique, and you'll see how this all connects. We're going to stop thinking about grammar as a list of rules and start seeing it as a map of time. I love this quote because it completely reframes the whole challenge. A list is something you just have to memorize, right? But a map is something you can understand. You can navigate it. And that simple shift in perspective is a total game changer for learning tenses. And here's our map. It's just a simple timeline. Everything in English grammar happens somewhere on this line. The most important point here is now. That's the moment of speaking. It's our anchor. It never moves. All the tenses are really just different ways of describing an action's relationship to now. Okay, so let's put our characters on the map.
This visual makes the difference so clear. Miss checklist sentences like, I worked late yesterday, just pinpoint a finished action in the past. See? It's a dot with no connection to the present. But on the other hand, Miss show-off sentences like, I have lived in this city for 7 years, build a bridge from the past all the way to the present. The action started back then, but it has a direct impact on the now. So we've explored characters and we've explored maps. But why are these little tricks so much more effective than just memorizing rules from a chart? Well, the answer is actually in how our brains are wired. And here's the thing, these aren't just fun little tricks. Academic research shows us that these kinds of strategies actually engage more of your brain. By using stories, personalities, and visual maps, you're not just memorizing, you're creating these rich, meaningful connections, and that leads to a much deeper understanding and makes the information far easier to recall later. And the benefits are huge. Studies on language learners show that using mnemonics leads to way more motivation. Because, learning becomes a creative game instead of a chore. It boosts your confidence, helps you engage more deeply with the material, and of course, it dramatically improves your memory. It's a win-win-win. So, let's end with a little challenge. Stop thinking about rules and start thinking about personalities. Are you feeling like Mr. Bored today, talking about your daily routine? Or maybe you're more of a Miss Show-Off, ready to share a life experience. Thinking this way isn't just a hack. It's the key to truly mastering the flow of English time.